the symposium is a kind of showcase of our cluster of excellence Hearing for All that tries to combine on the one hand the view from inside, that is all the experts from the different fields in our cluster present their recent advances and progress, but also the view from outside is important for us. So we invite international guests who present the most recent work on an international level. And for me, it's very nice to have all them come together and discuss the progress and the future of the next steps in hearing. And for me, that's always very important to have this kind of event. So one of the developments that we see here is that we go more and more into statistical audiology because we get much more databases and we also get open data structures. And some of the talks will especially highlight how we go in audiology into the digital domain, so to say. On the other hand, we have more predictive audiology. We want to highlight how from the diagnostic insights that we get from a patient, we can exactly predict how good or how bad she or he can perform with a hearing aid or with a cochlear implant. So the prediction of the outcome, the individual outcome, that's a big issue, and we are getting very close to finding out all the influences of the individual personality, the individual traits, but also the influence of the hearing loss on the potential benefit. And in the poster discussions, we have all the PhDs and the postdocs and scientific work in the cluster represented, and we get into very intensive discussions among all our members of the cluster of excellence and also the externals.
The symposium is always the highlight of our cluster year, so we join all from the different universities and we have invited guests, so we get a real forum where we can show what we have done, but also get input from external peers. And I think that's the most important thing, that we can get the ideas for the next year.
So what I think it's very interesting in the symposium are the invited talks because we have experts from around the world with different topics related to the basic research in animals and humans, but also the technical issues related to hearing devices like hearing aids or cochlear implant, and also the clinical part is pretty interesting. So that's why I like the symposium very much.
For me, meeting people is the most important aspect. There are so many people doing great things, and this is one of the few occasions where they have them all in one place and can have great discussions.
Oh, I'm a long-term visitor of the Hearing4all colloquia, and what I like the most is that they give a nice overview of the incredible range of projects that are taking place in the Hearing4all framework. And so we are hearing related. I'm coming from a hearing aid distribution company, so we are always interested in seeing, learning what's going on, and Hearing4all is such an incredible cluster, so that we always like to learn what's the progress within the cluster and what is the ideas for future projects.
Hearing for all people, at all places and at all times.